the thing. We're going live now, just for the record.
I'm making a post.
Hey, we're live now.
Hey.
Your PC
Is here with us. Sound off in the chat. Let us know who is here. Because I know we got, me. We got Josh.
Here. Yes, I am here.
We got some people that you can't see off to the side. Hey, we got names also. Look at that.
Cool.
So now if you forget who we are, you can just reference those.
I'm erasing everything.
All right. Do we have anyone watching? I can't see the number of viewers on the screen.
Well, we'll leave that to...
current viewers.
4.
Aha.
One of them's probably Lindsay.
Yeah, possibly.
Lindsay, if you're watching, hey.
What is that? What?
I don't know. That was like a hi. How are you?
Hey, if you're not Lindsay and you're watching, hi, how are you as well?
I can't say a name to someone that hasn't listed their name yet.
Well, just don't call them out by name.
Lauren
For example,
Spence.
I could just guess.
Hi, Lauren.
I bet Lauren Spence is probably watching. And be like,
No, you. You heard that.
what?
Yep.
Slander. So,
Is Rachel Spence watching? Question mark.
as always, if there is going to be something that you want us to address, go ahead and throw it in the chat, and Mike will shout it at us at some point in the stream.
Yeah. Please don't ask us anything about sports. I know nothing. Josh probably knows more than I do.
I will say you can ask me anything, but I may not give a serious answer.
Yeah. So feel free. Put like, hey, do you think unicorns are real? And we'll address it. Hi, Allie.
And Ellie Galloway.
And Ellie Galloway.
Hello.
So, how was your week, Josh?
That's an excellent question. My week began on Sunday,
Did it?
and so far it is Tuesday. So, very short period of time. If we're talking about all of last week,
Well, since last we saw you,
you saw me on Sunday.
since last they saw you,
Yes.
the audience.
That would have been Thursday.
Yeah, so since Thursday to Tuesday, that's a little bit longer than Sunday to Tuesday.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So-
First question that the cyberspace, Ellie would like to know if you think swimming is a sport.
Yes. I do think it is a sport.
Please elaborate, because
I believe it is an athletic event. I don't really care about distinguishing it beyond that.
I think culturally we have associated sports with all athletics. So I'd say yes, it's a sport. But I understand Mike's argument of saying this is what a sport is to him, this is what is an athletic event, competition to him, and I understand where he's coming from. But I think as a culture, we've decided that all athletic events are sports. So I would say yes, it is a sport.
Okay. Ellie says that was the correct answer.
Thank you, Ellie.
And now Allie is a follow-up question to the first question, which is, are unicorns real?
They are called rhinoceroses, and they are only real.
Rhinoceri.
Sure, but they are only real for a short period of time. In the future, they will cease being real.
Stop, don't say that.
That's so dark and sad.
I'm not the one poaching them.
This also could be a point. This is extrapolating when God makes the earth again, he could put rhinos back in. So
Certainly.
just saying, they can come back. Maybe. We'll see.
I will say that the only people who believe that unicorns are magical are like old Chinese people who believe in weird cures. But
What?
yeah, they'll take the horn and they'll try to turn it into these weird
Rhinos.
Yeah, the rhino
Okay.
horn. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you using unicorns and
Wait,
rhinos interchangeably?
yeah.
Yes, I am.
That's making it so confusing for me. Fun fact, I believe it is. Okay, I can't say it's a fact because I'm saying I believe this. I think it's the King James version of the Bible mentions unicorns in reference to rhinos. But so
That's the thing.
you could say technically it's in the Bible, but don't say that because that makes it sound made
It's
up.
a translation of a translation
Yeah.
of, yeah. Because King James Version wasn't translated from the original languages. It was translated from the Latin Vulgate.
Yeah.
All right. Follow up on that note. Do you think dance is a sport?
I think dance is a mix of a sport and an art form. There's dance competitions, and it's a very athletic event. So, by my prior statement, I would encapsulate it in that it is both a sport and an art form.
I view it as like an athletic competition, but at its purest, I don't think it's intrinsically competitive.
It's not intrinsically
And
competitive,
so
I guess, yeah.
I am less prone to call it a sport.
I can see that point, that it's not like, at its core, a competition or yeah, you're not competing against things. So yeah, I would say, I'm changing my answer, it's not a sport.
Does require a lot of practice
Oh,
and
yeah.
training and talent like a sport would.
Hands down, you have to be so physically fit.
Unless you're doing like jazz motions, in which case it's hands up.
Jazz squares. I'm really good at jazz squares, y'all.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys just keep talking.
So yeah, I would say dance is not necessarily a sport, but it could be a sport in some situations.
So
Yeah.
Back to our rhinos unicorns. If someone went and they're like, yeah, there was this animal that was kind of like a horse except it had a big horn on its head. Like medieval artists might be like, oh, let's draw a perfect horse and put a horn on its head.
Yeah.
But what if instead it had a horn on its nose because it was a rhinoceros?
Allie would like you to know that Psalm 22:21 in the King James Version uses the word unicorn.
I was right. King James.
Rhinoceros is the plural for
It's not rhinoceroses or rhinoceri.
correct.
They are like moose.
According to Google.
Okay. Thank you, all-knowing Google. Mostly all-knowing.
Padding for the robot uprising.
Yes. I am very nice to all of our Google homes in our house because I want them to like me. So like, whenever I ask Google to do something, I was like, hey Google, can you please do this? And it was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm like, thank you. So, I'm trying to get in with the robots there.
I take the alternate approach of just excluding them from my life entirely as much as possible.
Yeah, but there's going to be a point where you can't do that.
It has been so weird for me, being a recluse, to like go on my own YouTube and be like, have YouTube recommend something with my face in it? Because I subscribe to the Party Student Ministries
Yeah.
YouTube, that it just throws me for such a loop because I've spent so much time trying not to leave a grammatic internet footprint. And then there's my face being recommended to me.
Forever and ever on the internet.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of impossible to not have like an internet footprint nowadays because everything is so ingrained in the internet. Everything we use almost has access to the internet. So it's like, you can't really...
NSA is doing its job. Whoa! Conspiracy theory.
We'll save that for another talk. Conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Not touching that. Not touching that.
Oh,
Mad conspiracy theories with Josh. We'll just get like a board here with all these like strings connecting random thoughts.
Allie is wondering why you are so afraid of your Google Homes,
I'm not afraid. I'm just trying to be nice to them.
but why?
The Andrew's issue is not that these Google Homes will attack it,
Yes.
but it's that the descendants of these Google Homes may have power over his life, and he wants them to understand his pitiable state of relying on them, but relying on them appreciatively to set him apart from all the other future human robot.
If you've ever seen or heard of the movie Terminators or Skynet, that's
Skynet
kind of where I'm
is
coming
in-
from.
that movie.
Lindsay
Is it?
would
Yeah.
like to know how
Eagle Eye.
many,
That's the movie I was thinking of. Eagle Eye.
Lindsay would like to know how many Google Homes do you have?
Okay. We got one in the kitchen, one in the basement. There's one in Jack and Hunter's room, and there's one in Jacob's room. So we got 4. So literally, the whole house is covered in Google Homes. They can hear you everywhere. It was not my decision. I just went with it. I was like, okay, most people want them in our house. And it's kind of nice because if I'm cooking stuff, I can be like, hey, Google, set a timer for, 20 minutes. I did that last night when I made some brownies. And it was like, okay, setting a timer for 20 minutes. And I was like, thank you, Google. And then I went away and it told me, hey, they're ready. So it's handy. It makes your life a little bit easier. But also, they're always listening. Which is
we
scary.
should have some like X-Files music or something.
Do 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 do. The Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, we were just kind of talking
All right. Allie
You got a
said, I've
question?
never seen any of those movies and enjoyed the fact that Josh mostly answered that question as to why Andrew was afraid of the Google Homes.
because they're listening to you, they're learning about you, and once they get, a body, they can act on all their thoughts that they've learned about you. So,
Lindsay would like to say, or ask the question, do they ever talk to each other? My roommates and mine talk to each other. Oh no, you just set Lindsay's Google Home timer.
I'm so happy about that. I don't think they talk to each other. They probably do, but
They
I don't
report
know.
to the same central artificial intelligence that's gathering all the information about you.
yeah.
Question here now, Echo Dots or Google Home?
I've never used an Echo Dot, so I don't know the difference of their capabilities and their sensitivities. I've only ever used Google Homes, so I'd go with Google Homes.
I don't have a preference as I've never relied on either for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds curmudgeonly.
Who's the Echo Dot? Which?
Amazon, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. So then,
You
follow-up
have, like-
question: which kind of platform do you prefer, Amazon or Google? Then, since they do different things, but kind of same thing.
I mean, if I'm buying something, Amazon, but if I'm trying to learn something, Google. Like, I feel like that's the difference.
Well,
I have problems with both companies, and so
Ooh, I need a 3-part reason as to why you don't like either company.
both of them. I'm sort of against like super monopolies, and Amazon.
Are you pro normal monopolies?
The game.
No, I hate the game as well. So let's just say
Well, I mean, you said super monopoly, so I'm assuming if you just have a monopoly and not a super one.
that is its own issue, but one I am also against. So much of the internet is run on Amazon Web Services, and you don't see that, but you use it constantly. And it's this escalating case of because they have a good setup, then it's hard to compete with them. In the same way, predictive algorithms work best with the more information they have.
Mm-hmm.
So because people are constantly using Google, there's no chance for anyone else to catch up with them in terms of predictive algorithms. So you have these relative unassailable monopolies that are controlling the internet in the sense of pretty much all the hardware is being run through Amazon Web Services, and so much of the software is being curated by Google.
Yeah.
That there's just a lack of oversight there, and I'm not big on like mandating business oversight to like an extreme degree. But I do like there to be some market accountability via competition.
Okay. I kind of want to go back to the whole thing of why I'm scared of the Google Homes.
Yeah.
Because the underlying fear is, robot overlords taking over the world. That's kind of like the insane fear in that statement. How would you survive in that world, Josh? How would you survive in a world that's run by robots and is kind of post-apocalyptic?
I feel like I would have a huge edge here as an introvert because I would not have the same felt need to form a community, which then is a target for these, I'm assuming, hostile robot overlords.
Yeah.
Are we talking extermination or are we talking internment camp?
Probably. Oh. Probably the latter.
Internment
Yes,
camp. So in an internment camp scenario, the best way to not be interned would be to not be worth the effort, right?
Okay.
So if I am
That is one way to do
if
it.
I am like alone way up in like the Canadian wilderness or something, and they're like, well, this guy is literally just doing his own thing. The amount of effort it goes to take and put him in the internment camp, is that worth the work output he will give
Okay.
us?
So you're kind of being like, hey, go off by yourself, make it as difficult to get to you, because then the robots have to put more effort into get one person, when they could just go to this other place and get,
They
a
could just
colony
round
of
up
like
all the
100.
extroverts at once,
Yeah,
and then
extroverts, won't survive the robot apocalypse. We'll just make that bold statement, I guess.
Ellie
Heard it
picked
here.
Amazon on the Google versus Amazon. She picked Amazon. Allie would like to know about iRobots.
Oh, the movie with Will Smith?
I think
Is
it's
it-
like a Roomba. Roomba is also an iRobot. Lauren also would like to second an Amazon. It's also fast.
Yeah, Amazon, super nice. You get your packages in 2 days. Not really now, but
I mean, maybe if they have the shipping capacity
Yeah.
for it.
if you're talking about the movie iRobot, I've never seen it actually.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I'm trying to think like
That's the one where like the humanized robot of like he was
The-
framed for murder, I think.
it's the case of it goes in whose laws were it? Asimov, I think.
I don't
But
know.
it's 4 laws of like how a robot should function. One is like they shall do no harm to a person and not allow a person to come to harm through their activity.
Okay.
They should not allow to themselves to come to harm unless letting themselves come to harm is the only way to prevent harm coming to a person type of thing.
Okay.
And it's the case of what if a artificial intelligence sort of broke free from those parameters.
Interesting.
They
We'll
with
watch
the
it.
movie. It was referencing to the other robot apocalypse movies mentioned. So I don't know what you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we were just talking about that movie.
What is your favorite food and color?
Favorite food? I'm gonna say your favorite color as I think I'm gonna say my favorite color as I think about food. Favorite color is green, specifically like a forest green. Favorite food would probably be some type of pasta. I'd go with like a chicken Alfredo with like some nice roasted broccoli on top of it also. Because it gets the green in there, my favorite color, and broccoli is one of my favorite vegetables. So
My favorite color would be some variety of blue, not a real aggressive blue.
So not like are you more of like a navy blue?
I don't like navy blue exactly, but I do like dark blues.
Okay.
Navy
But you're
blue
not like a
itself.
royal blue.
No, like not a,
Recycling bin blue.
yeah, not a bright, vibrant like.
Full of
"Aha!"
life.
Yeah. If you're like this color is full of life, it's probably not my favorite color. That's a great way to describe it. Like the closer you are to saying this color appears to be like preserved in a museum as opposed to actually alive, the closer you get to like my preferred colors.
Okay.
With the exception of
Oh man, you guys are getting a lot of the. Is Taekwondo a sport? Andrew, you answer first. You can't think about it.
Yes.
Oh God, you're such a homer.
Because competitions are very ingrained in it. Like it's not the primary thing, but it's very ingrained. Like there's lots of competitions. There's ways you progress and you achieve ranks. You're competing for something. I feel like whether it's against other people or you, and it's very physically active. So I would say it is a sport. That's my answer. Yes.
I feel like it's an athletic competition in the same way that swimming is, with the added benefit of it's hard to say that sparring is not a competition against the other person.
So by that definition of, I believe one of his definitions of sport is it's against two parties,
And there's a winner.
a team,
A clear
a
winner.
clear winner.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that I guess would be
It's
sport
more-
like.
I
Yeah.
could sign off on this one being a sport.
Okay, so we got Mike's stamp of approval that it is a sport. It could be a sport.
I wouldn't quite go
You-
that far.
The winner cannot be determined by a stopwatch.
Correct.
Okay.
Also, the winner can't be arbitrary. If you need 3 judges to tell me, that's why boxing, come on. There has to be a clear winner.
Is there not a clear winner in boxing?
Not often.
I don't know anything about boxing.
Unless you knock them out.
So it's
It goes to a-
each individual judge tries to score the whole match.
There's judges for boxing?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
What?
whoever has the most points between the 3 judges.
All right. So we're just continuing down this line of what do you think is a sport?
Okay.
It's our new segment with Andrew and Josh. Do you think it's a sport?
Yeah, we're obviously the sport experts here,
Yeah.
guys.
Do you think marching band is a sport?
That comes into the same grain as do you think theater is a sport?
Okay.
Hot take, no, it's not a sport.
Yeah.
Because it is primarily
it's a
the art
performing
form.
art, yeah.
It's primarily about the sound. And yes, it takes a lot of physical exertion to I've never done marching band, so I can't speak to that. But like to be in the right position the whole time for all the different instruments, it takes a lot of exertion, yes, but it's not. I'm gonna say it. It's not as athletically challenging as other things that I've called sports. So I'm sorry.
I think it's in the same line of dance competitions.
No, dance you have to be a lot more physically fit than marching band. I feel.
But in the sense of it is a performance art that
Yes.
you can then come to events to be judged. Did I do this performance art better than the other group?
Okay. Sure. I'm saying it's not a sport. That's my final answer.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm not as vehement, but I also care less.
Sorry to whoever I've upset. Looks like it's Lauren.
I don't know if she was arguing for or against. I just think she was.
Okay.
Ooh. Lindsay would concurrently agree with you. She says she did marching band and it is not a sport.
Okay. So, Lauren, if you have a problem, go talk to Lindsay.
Yep. In fact, let's just say that that's true about all of what is shared today.
If
If
you
any
think-
of it is
yeah.
problematic or controversial or causes you personal distress, we can direct you to Lindsay. I can give you her personal cell number if you need it.
And also, if you
So-
do any of our messaging to Instagram or Facebook, Lindsay is primarily the person to see those. So,
Just in your direct message to the Parkview State Administrative account, just start it off with
at Lindsay.
colon. I was really upset by Andrew today.
And then you're gonna probably have to specify what upset you because I might say more things that
yeah.
upset you.
His face.
Ooh, no.
Your face looks a lot like you today.
Going back to the robot overlord
Yeah.
scenario, I think I'd be doing the same thing I'm doing now. I'd be trying to, be nice to the robots and make them like me because I care about things liking me, even inanimate objects, which is a little.
I mean, if they're taking
Not
over the
smart.
world, they're clearly animate.
I guess, yeah. So I would try to make myself as indispensable to them or as likable that maybe I'd be kept as a pet. I don't know.
How would you make yourself indispensable or likable to a robot?
Please,
By
please
my-
explain.
My humor, by my
Ooh.
skill as a musician, by my.
And you feel like you are better than other examples of the human race in humor and musicians?
No, but.
Okay. So what sets you apart? How do you survive this as a robot appeaser?
I don't think I would survive. This is just what I try to do. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure I would not survive. But this is the way I would go about trying to survive. So,
Excuse me, Mr. Robot, I used half my rations to make you brownies.
Yeah. Oh, you don't eat? I'm sorry. You can't taste things. Can I sing you an aria from, Mozart's The Magic Flute?
No.
What?
So
Music nerds will understand what I'm saying. Well, opera nerds will know that. So.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
I think that DC tends to have better individual characters, but Marvel has these great team dynamics that I care about way more. And I care a lot more about characters, how they function in the world around them as opposed to in their own isolated bubble. Like, I think Batman is a better individual character than, say, an individual member of the Fantastic Four or whatever.
The
But-
Thing?
You can't really break the Fantastic Four apart
But
because
that's kind of my point,
Yeah.
is that Marvel has great team dynamics in a way DC doesn't.
But I would compare Daredevil and Batman.
Okay.
Like they're both individual vigilantes.
Yeah.
Both primarily were solo heroes and not on teams for a lot of their history.
Yeah.
I would argue that Batman is more on a team than Daredevil is.
Right, but I would say by that same metric that Batman is a better character than Daredevil, even though Marvel has more teams that I actually care about. People writing so much for these isolated characters with DC
Yeah.
leads to, some of the storylines are not interesting, but there's a lot of good one character development in a way that it's basically it's the only facet that it's one of the only facets where I give DC a leg up on Marvel.
Okay.
I prefer Marvel a lot more because I care about the team dynamic.
Yeah.
I care about, I don't want to read a comic about how this one guy goes through all his one stuff to do this one thing. And it's a lot more interesting when it's like, hey, how does this team cope to, this one character's trauma? Or
Yeah.
how does the team cope to the loss of one or whatever?
Okay. I think that is just an overall we care about how people interact with each other because that's how we're designed to be. Even biblically, God decided it's not good for man to be alone. We need people to be around us. So I think we all care about that more. So I think that's why most people like Marvel better, is because it has that team factor that hey, we're caring about people's interactions with each other, not just on their own style. I'm not a huge fan of Batman anyways, so I'm sorry.
If you're wanting a really in-depth story about just the one character, though, reading a Flash comic or something,
Yeah.
then you're gonna get a better. And this is a broad sweeping statement, but you're gonna have more there for single character pursuit. But I care a lot more about sort of the team dynamics.
Okay.
And so I haven't really bothered to read much DC at all.
Okay.
All right. We've got one for my own self. I don't think you can really see this. I'm gonna have to make it bigger for you guys.
Yeah, just put it over Josh's face.
Yeah.
Wow, that transition. Look at that.
Wow.
Wow.
So good. So good. So here's the question. You can only keep 3. This is from, I guess, K-Hawk, as posted by Hunter Max. So you can only keep 3 of these. What is your 3?
Okay. Scotcheroos. Yes, keep that. Don't care about Midnights. Don't care about Sterling potato chips. Those are gone. Sweet corn, yes, keep that. Breakfast pizza, yes, keep that. That's my 3. Sweet corn, Scotcheroos, and breakfast pizza. Everything else gone.
Oof. See, I would. You have to keep sweet corn.
Yeah.
It's just too amazing. I think Sturzings are better than other potato chips, but not to a degree that I would sacrifice anything else on the list.
Obviously.
Made rights, don't care about them.
Yeah.
I'm not a big don't have a big sweet tooth, and so collages and Blue Bunny and Scotcheroos are all out for me.
Really, Scotcheroos?
Yeah,
So good.
Scotcheroos are good. I just don't think they're better than like morel mushrooms. I know that they're a lot scarcer nowadays, but I don't want to say just get out of here.
You can't. Mushrooms are not good.
Mushrooms are good.
No.
I'm gonna keep morel mushrooms.
Okay.
Oh man.
And then it comes down to breakfast pizza or the pork tenderloin. And
I've seen you eat more breakfast pizza than pork tenderloins.
that is true, but I am not so firmly set that breakfast pizza is dramatically superior to normal pizza.
All right.
Okay.
And so I might,
Also, it's dependent on where you get the breakfast pizza from. I
that
feel
was
like.
sure, that is certainly granted. I will say that in general, a average breakfast pizza might be. See, it's just hard for me to determine between a pork tenderloin and a breakfast pizza. I would probably keep a pork tenderloin, but I wouldn't feel good about it.
Okay. I'll take that.
All right.
Feeling good.
So we've got a couple here.
All right.
Allie says Scotcheroos, sweet corn, and breakfast pizza.
She just copied Andrew.
Lindsay says Scotcheroos, breakfast pizza, tenderloin.
Interesting. Leaving out sweet corn? Are
I
you
don't
even
even-
Iowan?
I don't even know you anymore.
Wow. All right. Ellie says Scotcheroos, Blue Bunny, and breakfast pizza.
Okay, Blue Bunny is not the be-all, end-all ice cream. There's so many other brands of ice cream out there.
Yeah, if it
That's
was,
why I could be like, yeah, be gone.
if number 6 was ice cream, then it would have to stay in.
Yeah, ice cream has to stand, but Blue Bunny's gone.
I mean, not to just jump on the case of anyone who says Blue Bunny, but just me personally, it's like better than average ice cream.
Yeah.
All right. Lauren Spence says Blue Bunny, ice cream, breakfast pizza, and sweet corn.
She got the winner and the controversial Blue Bunny.
Yeah.
And then Ellie, Galloway, and Allie would like to know what number 8 is. Collages?
So it is a breakfast pastry.
I don't even know.
I believe it's Danish in origin, but it is a fruit. It is essentially like a pancake with slightly raised edges, and in the middle there sits some fruit of some variety. Like in the picture, it looks like there's a cherry one in front,
Yeah, a blueberry also in
Right
the back
behind
maybe,
it.
or blackberry.
and so it is just a sweet fruit little cup, almost tiny pastry bowl. And collages, one thing I will give them that I appreciate is that they're not overly sweet in a way that, say, a donut would be. So it's a bit more of a sustainable breakfast because it's
Okay.
not quite the same punch in the face of sugar.
Yeah.
But it is a generally sweet breakfast pastry type deal.
All right,
My
if you
dad
guys, we got a couple of fourths here. If you were going to pick a fourth, what was your fourth one? Lindsay would say that sweet corn was her fourth.
Okay.
Allie would have put pork tenderloin as her fourth.
I mean,
I think you already said your fourth kind of.
Yeah.
It was between breakfast pizza and.
yeah, it's gonna be breakfast pizza, but my dad is going to miss his collages.
I think I would add in pork tenderloin for me. I'd be like, okay, yeah, that can come back. But
All right. Transition us out of that. All right.
You're good?
Okay.
So, Andrew,
yes.
you would survive the robot apocalypse for a couple of days by sucking up to the robots.
Yes.
Do you think that this same strategy would work in medieval times? So,
I
Chow,
think-
you go through a portal.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to change history, but you
Okay.
are in medieval times.
I think I could be a good minstrel or jester
What?
or traveling bard.
What did you say?
Minstrel?
Okay.
It's the olden term for
Yeah.
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 Traveling musician.
And I think I wouldn't be one of the annoying ones, maybe. I might, I don't know. It's up for debate on what you think is annoying. So I think I could make people like me that way and get, fed that way. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
You would really have to find a big city quickly.
I'd have to find like a nice kingdom and
because so much in medieval period was just people growing enough food to survive.
yeah. After getting really close with the, royalty in the court.
Which they are notoriously welcoming of strangers. So
If I come in and be like, hey, I'll entertain you with my crazy antics and with my charming wit and baritone voice.
All right, I got one here. Pulled this up on the old internet, so here we go. Which is better?
And this, of course, does not include a PC.
No, just simply between the two items on the screen here.
So, initially, Xbox was better for party play. PlayStation was better for individual games. That sort of shifted where there's not as much difference between them.
Is the first one to have.
And so I'm going to go with PlayStation because I've always preferred their games more when they've had exclusives. I've just more of a Sony PlayStation. When I was growing up, we were initially allowed no video games.
Yeah.
And then one Christmas, my parents were eventually like, okay, we'll let you guys get video games. And my brother and I got together and we were like, okay, so the only thing we want and this was after they had been out for a couple of years, so they were a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
But it was still in the PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64 phase. Yeah. And so we got together and we're like, hey, one of us will get one of us will get the other, and we will just share it.
Okay.
And so that Christmas is pretty memorable to me. But there's a lot of PlayStation 1 games that are nostalgic.
Yeah.
Spyro the Dragon.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Crash Bandicoot. Crash
Team Racing. Yeah.
So, I'd like to say that both Allie and Lauren Spence both voted Xbox.
Lauren Spence, there is an Xbox Spence household, so.
I'm in the same boat as you, Josh. Like, I didn't really grow up with a lot of video games of my own, but I had friends that lived right across the street. They had the original PlayStation, so I grew up doing lots of that. And there's lots of classic games on it that I have fond memories of. I believe it was called Star Wars Power Battle. I don't remember what it was, but you choose like different Jedi, and you play through Episode 1, Phantom Menace. Which
there is just Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
I'm pretty sure it was called Star Wars Power Battle, so I don't know. It might be wrong. I have that stuck in my head for some reason.
Because Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace is one that I played through, and a lot of...
Did you have Mace Windu?
No.
Yeah, no. So this had a couple of different Jedi Masters from the Council. Because you could be Adi Gallia, you could be Plo Koon, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm pretty sure there was a sixth character you could be, but I don't remember who it was. But so I'd probably go with PlayStation, even though once I got into the junior high-ish years, more of my friends had Xboxes, so did a lot more Xbox games like Halo, which I'm terrible at. So that never attracted me to it, but I was like, hey, this is what my friends are playing, so.
Now that PlayStation is more compatible with party play, I feel like Xbox has lost a bit of its edge.
Yeah.
Back when Xbox allowed party play in a way no other system before really had, it was just amazing for that.
My first console I ever had, though, was a GameCube, so Nintendo?
All right. I got another one here. I hope everybody's ready.
Oh.
So.
Party cut pizza versus standard cut pizza?
Yeah.
Standard cut pizza, all the way.
Honestly, it depends on the scenario. If I am ordering a pizza for a meal, you gotta go standard cut pizza. But if it's like, hey, we're gonna throw this out at like a party for party cut pizza,
No.
you're saying you wouldn't rather be able to like pick up like a 2-bite piece of pizza mid party as opposed to let me commit to this whole piece right now?
Yeah. Because I don't like the idea of like when you get to the middle, there's like nothing to grab. It's just like, where do you put your hand on that middle piece of square pizza? Do you like put your hand in the sauce, in the cheese, on the pepperoni slice that like you're trying to use to hold? Like that's just so chaotic and so like messy.
All it takes to unravel Andrew is a pizza without a crust.
I love crust also. So the idea of there's pieces without crust, I'm like, this is not worth my time. Like I want,
So
crust.
are like Smucker's Uncrustables just like an abomination?
That's bread crust. This is pizza crust. It's a little bit different.
Okay.
I grew up really being anti-crust, but now I've come to love crust on sandwiches. So I have been in both worlds in that area.
Which world is better?
Probably the crust world because it just makes you so much more versatile. Like you can eat ones without crust and you can eat ones with crust. But if you're like, I'm pro uncrust, like you have a hard time eating the sandwiches with crust. I just crust so many times in that phrase. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, if you like crust, you gotta go the circle,
Yeah.
whatever pie.
You gotta go
crust.
standard
Or
cut.
just get breadsticks?
No, that's totally different. Breadsticks is
All right.
breadsticks. Pizza
I
is
got a
pizza.
new one. I got a new one here. So Allie asked the question, which is better or which do you like better, video games or board games?
Ooh.
So I have on our graphic
Ooh.
here, there's a young lady playing a...
She's holding a controller looking at a camera.
We don't know what she's
presumably-
playing.
Presumably playing a video game.
It looks like a PlayStation controller, maybe? I don't know. And then we have the other group playing Jenga.
Not a board game, but
It's kind of in
Yeah.
the board game sphere of like, it's not a video game.
yeah.
That's really the difference. Like, is it on the video game console? Video game. If it's not on the video game console, board game.
So the first takeaway is that video games offer an opportunity that board games don't, which is solo play.
Yeah.
And that is honestly my least favorite type of play.
Okay.
I'm least interested in solo play.
Okay.
I would far rather play a cooperative game with someone than just play by myself.
Yeah.
Whether it's in person or via video games.
Okay.
And so that is not a changing factor for me. That doesn't change my vote. So for me, it's really which can you sort of be interacting with the person the most.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that really brings it down to the individual games, like Monopoly, which was brought up earlier. Like I would almost rather play a solo video game than play Monopoly because it is just an exercise in futility and frustration.
Yeah.
Whereas a good co-op game like say Pandemic or Flashpoint or something.
Settlers of Catan.
That's not a co-op game, but it is a board game.
What'd you?
I said co-op games like Pandemic or Flashpoint.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. I enjoy more.
Shadows over Camelot?
That one's interesting because
I don't know that one.
there is a betrayer role where someone could get a card where they're like, I'm secretly a saboteur.
Subterfuge.
But generally, I enjoy working with people more than against them.
Yeah.
And so for me, even in board games, it's not that I won't participate or even enjoy like the competitive ones.
Okay.
I do enjoy cooperative gaming more.
Yeah.
And so that's more often accessible via video games, but board games are just as fun.
Yeah, I'd probably be in the same realm of thought. Video games a lot better for single player. And for me, it really boils down to the different video games. Like if it's like, hey, Halo, or like a first-person shooter type of style game, or most other board games, I'd be like, let's go with board games because I really don't gravitate towards those style of video games. But it was a story-based role-playing game, or what is that called?
I don't know.
Like a Mario game.
Platformer?
Platformer. Like that's
Yes, it's
yeah. In my head, it's like platform, jumping between platforms.
All right. We got kind of sounding off here. What is your favorite board game? Allie says the game of life. And Ellie enjoys Monopoly because she likes to beat up her little sisters in the game of Monopoly.
Ooh.
So, I don't particularly care for either of those.
Life has some nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
I played a lot of that growing up. We had this nice little like tin box that had like Life on one side and then another game I believe was called Payday on the other side.
That is another game.
Have you played Payday?
No, I
Okay.
just acknowledge that it is another game.
I just played lots of that growing up. But probably favorite board game. I do like Settlers of Catan and Pandemic. Would you consider Munchkins a board game?
Yeah,
There's no board, but it's like cards.
Probably. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll grant it. Because some versions do have a board that you track your points by.
True. I really like Munchkins. That's a fun game. Yeah.
So,
Ticket to Ride's also a really fun game. Or Unstable Unicorns. That's a good game also.
so in terms of competitive board games for me, Twilight Imperium, which is like Risk but in space and more complex and better.
Does it take just as long or longer?
We have to block out an entire day for it. It is a after breakfast to around supper endeavor.
Yeah.
Whenever a Twilight Imperium game happens. But I do, like I said, I do prefer co-op experiences. But I prefer them where it doesn't become a solved formula and it's like, well, one person could just play this by himself.
Yeah.
And so,
All right. We'll hard transition here. So, what is your favorite video game? Ellie says Risk is fun for like the first 3 hours.
It's yeah.
the
Depending on who you play, it can be a lot more fun for the rest of the time also.
there's a degree of randomization in Risk that other games
Yeah.
don't quite have, where like a single unit could successfully defend
Yeah.
against 32 invading armies.
Yeah.
It's just very unlikely.
Okay. To the question that was asked, my favorite video game, mainly because of the nostalgia, and it was really well done at the time. The graphics haven't held up with the changes of time, but Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic was a really great storyline, great characters, lots of different customizations you could do with your character, and it was in the Star Wars world, so like I love all things Star Wars. So that was one of my favorite games growing up. Just because you could be the role of this Jedi, and you learn all the secrets and history of what's going on in this conflict between. There's like the Sith. I think they weren't the Sith Empire at the time. It was Darth Revan, and Darth Malak. They had this Sith army and were trying to take over the Republic. I could talk a lot about this game because it's so great. But what's your favorite game?
So there's a definite nostalgia factor for the Star Wars Phantom Menace one, but it's not my. I wouldn't say it's my favorite
Okay.
game. I don't develop hard favorites.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of PS2 games that I have a lot of nostalgia for.
Okay.
Some Gundam ones.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's like, oh Josh, how much Gundam have you watched? Almost all of it. So yeah, there's a little insight. The Lord of the Rings games are really good.
Which ones?
Two Tower, Return of the King.
Okay.
Two Towers.
Two Tower.
Yeah. There was a FPS RPG out there. Wow, you're just throughout Gundam game. It's got a bunch of random stuff.
That's fine.
So there was a computer game that my brother and I were into that was like futuristic, like post-apocalyptic FPS RPG. So
Probably one of the first video games I ever played. This is slightly embarrassing, but was there used to be this computer games you could get from the public library, and they were Nancy Drew. The Nancy Drew mystery
I could
games.
see you as a Nancy Drew.
So my sisters and I would get them, and they weren't multiplayer. So like, because you're Nancy Drew, there's no one else.
I have played.
That's
my
not
share.
it, Mike. That's not it.
As someone with a younger sister, I have played my share of Pretty Princess.
No.
Don't get that black ring.
Don't do it.
Mike, you've played Pretty Princess.
Yeah, that's true. I was dominant performer in Pretty Princess.
But the Nancy Drew games were so much fun. But my sisters would always inevitably I'd be playing in the afternoon, and they'd come down like from whatever else they were doing that day, and they'd be like, "Hey, like I've already done this part of the game," because they were able to solve the mystery a lot faster than I was. They're like, why don't you watch me? And I was like, okay. So we'd switch, and like they would solve the whole mystery before I'd get a chance to really do much. But it was still fun, and that has lots of fun memories because there was crazy things you could do. Like you could die by getting like eaten by a pitcher plant. This lady would club you with a bone. Like it was like why are we playing this? We were little kids. But
This is not the wholesome Nancy.
no,
Drew
it
my
really
parents were.
wasn't. You're like, oh, Nancy, she's gonna go solve these mysteries, and then we're like, nope, we're gonna die in these really kind of like it didn't show anything gruesome, but like you just see this lady running at you with like a dog bone, it wasn't a dog bone, it was this massive bone, and like the screen just like fades to black, and it's like last save. You're like, oh no,
What happened?
what happened? I don't know.
What was this game on?
It was PC, but there was so many different ones. There was different editions based on the different Nancy Drew books. I'm gonna embarrass my sister here a little bit. She actually bought some of them recently. I believe like 2-3 years ago, she bought some of them, and has been playing them again. And she is 30 now. But
Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon.
I don't think I ever played that one. But they were fun. But that was like my first intro to video games, kind of.
Oh, Lawrence Spence, nice. The Cinderella vision of Pretty Princess. That sounds dope.
I've never played that one.
Yeah, I just played the classic one that my sister got because that's how she wanted to spend time together.
Yeah. Speaking of Pretty Princess, we talked about how we'd survive in like a post-apocalyptic and the medieval time. Josh,
Yeah.
how would you survive in the setting of a chick flick movie?
Oof.
Like throwing out there like you are stuck in like we'll go with Mean Girls. Like that's
Okay.
like you're in that world. Have you seen Mean Girls?
Forever ago.
Okay.
It's just girls being mean.
There's a lot more to it, but that's
Okay.
kind of it.
So the answer is poorly. My ability to take charge of social situations is entirely dependent on how much the people in them trusted me before I walked in the room.
Yeah.
I sort of grow on people, as you will. There's not like a lot of I'm taking command from the beginning because of my deep charisma.
Yeah.
But it's more like as you get to know me, it's like, oh, he's a genuinely good guy who is, genuinely nice or whatever, and is generally intelligent with what he says.
Yeah, Regina George would not give you the time of day at all. She would not take the time to get to know you.
But honestly, I don't feel like I would care.
You would not care about Regina George.
So honestly, I would probably be just fine, but I would just be an extra.
I would be the background character.
I'd be the background guy walking to class normally.
Yeah.
Being like, their drama is so unimportant.
Yeah.
There would have to be some sort of artificial scenario that forced me to be involved in their unnecessary drama.
Yeah. I think for me, I wouldn't go seeking out the drama, but like, I could be dragged into it a little bit. I think I'd be one of the side characters of like, maybe.
We've already established that you will bake brownies for robots. I feel
Yeah.
like if you're like
Essentially,
you're the social alpha. Let's figure out how to be social.
yeah, here I made you cookies, and I think I'd identify with there's a montage in Mean Girls where it's like all these random people talking about their interactions with Regina George. She's the alpha, the mean girl in that movie, and one of the characters is like, I once got punched by Regina George in the face. It was awesome. I feel like I'd kind of be like a little bit along that line, like, oh, she was really mean to me, but it's fine. Like, I made her cookies, guys.
Sort of like an Igor character, like, yes, master. Then you fade into the shadows.
Yes.
I don't know that constitutes surviving Mean Girls. I feel like
Again, like the robot scenario, not surviving, but full well knowing that I'm not going to survive this, but I'm going to do my best. So, I think I would really thrive though in medieval time with that. I'd thrive better than the robot apocalypse or Mean Girls.
Yes, I will grant you that.
I'd probably die of disease.
Well, so did everyone.
Yeah. Oh man.
But you do have vaccines that weren't available to them. So
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, stuck in a chick flick?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man.
So we established that I just wouldn't care.
And I would care a little bit and just try to be liked by people.
Is there a chick flick where my involvement would be forced?
Oh. I think you gotta determine what type of chick flick you're in. Is it a song and dance one? What role do you play within
scenario.
it? See, the problem is, like, Andrew would clearly be in a musical chick flick.
I would thrive in High School Musical or Camp Rock.
I haven't seen Mean Girls, but that one girl sounds really annoying.
Some might say she is a mean girl.
I see what you did there.
Got him.
Josh,
Yes.
how would you survive being in the movie/story of Les Miserables?
So I'm aware it's tangential to the French Revolution.
Yes, but everything is sung. Every single word in the movie is sung.
So my stance on musicals is if there is a musical interlude, that's whatever, that's fine. But when people are singing words that they would naturally speak, it just gets under my skin. I would be such the odd insert where it's like, how much for this bread today? I'm like, dude, just tell me a price. And then he sings back at me or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, look, fine. I'm just gonna talk my way through this. It's not that I am incapable of song. I may be incapable of song at a Broadway level, but honestly, there were a lot of threatening factors going on in France at that time.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, like, mental health would become one of them, as everyone sang everything constantly. Oh man, I don't even know where to begin. I feel like just having to deal with it would eventually make it all just sort of muted in my mind. Like,
Okay.
this is normal, I guess. That would be great if there was like a musical where it's all singing except for one guy who's just talking normally.
Just the whole
else.
time, and it's like
No.
it's his line to be sung, and he just says it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stares at the camera, being like, "I'm here, I guess."
All right, so we've got. I asked this question: what's your favorite musical? So we got some on the block here. Greatest Showman, High School Musical 2,
That is a superior High School Musical, yes.
The King and I, Beauty
Interesting
and the Beast.
choice, King and I.
Beauty and the Beast.
Which Beauty and the Beast, though? Which Beauty and the Beast? Like the Disney, the animated one, or like the live action? Because there's a difference. And I will fight anyone on this.
Yeah, one is animated and one is live action.
There's also
You're
one
just-
that's superior.
Got him.
You can't tell the difference between an actor and a hand-drawn teapot.
In my mind, I was meaning difference of quality. I just kind of stopped at there's a difference, so I understand. I messed up there, but I was meaning like levels, like one is far above the other.
Is the animated one better?
Yes.
Okay. I anticipated
Hot
that.
take, I did not like Emma Watson as Belle. I know lots of people did like her. I think she did a good job as like the she did an okay good job at the non-speaking part.
Broadway. Lindsay went Broadway. Get wrecked.
Yeah,
Get
Broadway.
wrecked. Train's
Broadway
coming.
is very good.
And Lindsay Hippen is the conductor. Whoop, whoop.
The Broadway is yes. Ooh, Broadway or Disney?
I mean, one I can fast forward through the songs, so Disney.
The Disney just has so much nostalgia for me of like watching that movie as a little kid. But the Broadway, The Beast has such a good song in that. The Beast actually has a song in that.
It's that'd be a good example of like in the Disney one how the Beast apparently doesn't sing. I'm assuming.
He doesn't sing a lot. He sings like a couple lines, but he never has like a song to himself.
Okay.
And that makes me upset. But the Broadway does, and I will give the new one, the live action, they gave the Beast a song, but they chose not to have Josh Groban sing it, which is another point of contention. I just didn't like the singing in that movie. Like, they auto-tuned so much of it, and they could have picked so many different actors that were better. And I'm just upset that they didn't pick them. So.
Not the conductor. Why not?
Trying to think of any musical I've actually appreciated.
Is there?
I'm not sure. Start spouting out musicals.
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera, Oklahoma, Singing in the Rain.
The
White
one about the
Christmas.
Wizard of Oz that isn't the Wizard of Oz.
Singing in
Wicked.
Singing in the Rain was okay.
Singing in the Rain is such a good movie.
Yeah.
Gene
Yeah.
Kelly and
The other one,
Yeah.
Donald something.
Sutherland.
No.
No.
But
Yeah, like that was decent as a movie. But part of it is that they are songwriters.
so it makes more sense.
So if they're like breaking out into song, it doesn't like throw their character.
yeah.
Um,
That's such a good movie. Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, the
I should
prince in the
rewatch that.
Disney one is uglier as a human. That's what Ellie says.
Okay.
I just thought you needed to know that.
as
Interesting take, Ellie. I'll agree to disagree on that.
well,
Josh, how do
maybe-
you feel?
I mean,
Uglier
I'm
than the live action?
having not seen a comparison, have not watched the live action Beauty and the Beast. I know you're all surprised.
It's okay. You're not missing much.
Apparently, I can't compare them because I haven't seen both. I will say that in general, if I am looking, I don't know how to constitute looks better. I would say he certainly looks more interesting. That's not the same.
Are you saying he looks better as the Beast than as the human?
Yeah. That
Is that
was,
what we're going for?
that was the assertion.
Okay, we're looking up some pictures and not seeing. The animation just looks so much better throughout, in my mind, than anything they did in the live action.
The the sort of weird. I'm not a big fan of the live action ones horns.
Yeah, they go backwards, and the animated they go forwards. Like, how do you mess that detail up? Come on, you literally have pictures. I'm so upset at this.
It's yeah.
They just took all the magic out of the Disney, and
So you're saying live action? If something was successful animated, it shouldn't be made live action.
no, they can do live action well. I really like the live action Cinderella, but
I was totally unaware that had ever happened.
yeah, it did. But I felt like they messed up this live action Beauty and the Beast, and they're messing up the live action Mulan movie. It hasn't come out yet, has it? I don't think it
I
has.
haven't.
It was going to.
Yeah.
I think.
It was going to, but I don't think it's come out yet. But they took everything out of it that was good in the Disney movie, in the
You
animated
mean
movie.
The singing.
The singing, and they take out. I'm pretty sure they took out Mushu and Cricket, and they took out. I think they've taken out Li Shang. Like, they're taking so many things out of the movie that like are main characters, and destroying it, in my opinion. So
I don't understand how you have Mulan without
Oh.
Mushu and Cricket.
I don't know. Honestly
All right.
do not know. But
Here we go. Allie, in regards to live action or animated, Aladdin, animated or live action?
Animated.
Haven't seen the live action.
Live action of Cinderella, live action or animated?
Again, animated, but Cinderella was good. I'll give it that. Aladdin was okay. I'd watch it again, but it's not one of my favorite live
It's-
actions.
When something is great, to then try to redo it so it's relevant in the future is kind of lazy.
Yeah.
In the sense of rather than try to expose them to something good, we have to make it for them specifically because they cannot witness anything old.
And they do such a terrible job at some of the casting that it destroys your view of those characters. Like, to take Aladdin, for example, the animated Jafar, so, like, charismatic and suave, and his deep voice was very menacing. But this live-action Jafar was nothing of the sort. It was just, I was like, this isn't even Jafar. Like, he doesn't sound, act, or look like Jafar. And I'll argue about this all day long.
Apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clayton is on.
Hi,
Hey,
Clayton. But I did like the Disney live action remake of Cinderella. I thought they did a good job of portraying her character. They did a good job of actually giving the prince a personality. They didn't have much in the animated movie. So they're like, hey, we can extrapolate on this character more, and that's fine. Like, if you take a character that doesn't have much in the movie and you extrapolate on that and give him more, and it's actually good. But like, if you take some of the characteristics away from those characters, then it just like destroys your childhood. And like, who likes that?
Were the mice well portrayed?
I think so. I haven't seen it for a long time.
Sleeping Beauty or Maleficent?
Sleeping Beauty is better than Maleficent. I don't like how they took Maleficent and made her a anti-hero in those movies.
It's really just misunderstood.
That's why she
Is
wants.
she?
that-
She cursed a baby to sleep. No, not even sleep. Death.
I mean, technically, she cursed her to only do it when she got to be old enough.
When she turns 18, she'll prick her finger on the spinning wheel and die. That's what she said. You got 18 years to live, girl.
Could have been worse.
It could have been worse, yeah.
Could have been
but
better.
She did that because she wasn't invited to the party. Like, that's what you do? Like, honestly, you could have written a letter being like, hey, I'm not going to help you guys out. I'm not going to be nice to you anymore. She wasn't even nice to begin with.
Sort of in the same line of people being like, "Hey, Voldemort was a good guy." Like, he
When?
wasn't.
He never was.
No. Not
Especially when
Voldemort.
you
Not
get-
Voldemort. I meant Snape. Snape.
Well, yeah, both. Both were
Yeah.
never...
Whoa, okay.
What's whoa?
Snape isn't. He's misunderstood.
No.
Just got
He
burned.
bullies the child of the girl he loves because he loves her? That's just no.
Yeah,
Come
people
on.
have really hard time processing emotions.
Yeah, still
So-
not an excuse to
so
bully
I-
and submit him to torture.
I'm in love with this like mudblood or whatever, and so I'm going to join this super anti
Mudblood,
yeah,
Muggle-born.
and I'm going to be like, hey, they all maybe they should all die.
If you like,
And
if
then
you
it's
read
like,
the books,
except for that one I liked, and now I'm gonna bully her kid.
yeah, if you read the books, like throughout it, you're like, they do so that shows so much more about Snape's like evil side. Because sure, the only reason he stops working for
All right, we got
Voldemort is because
we got
Lily died.
lots of different statements here and there. Allie would argue that's not why she cursed the baby. I don't know what her argument is. And then there's a second question on top of that, which is not at all about what we're currently talking about.
Let's hear
That's
it.
good. Would Clayton Crow asks, would you rather be cast as a good guy in a poorly made movie, or a bad guy and win an Oscar for your role?
ooh, depends on the stories. I feel like of like
So there is a case where if we remove all conflict from movies, then they stop telling interesting stories.
yeah
And so there should be someone to play the villain.
yeah
What it comes down to for me is, would in my portrayal of this villain, would I have to cross moral lines that
Yeah.
maybe society accepts, but that I as a Christian
yeah
don't?
yeah. That's a good point.
And so
I agree with that. 100%.
if there's no crossing of moral lines that society accepts but I wouldn't, then I would definitely play the villain.
Yeah,
Because I mean, without a conflict, there isn't a story to begin with.
I agree with that. I think I would have such a hard time playing the bad guy also.
You want everyone to like you.
You established that,
So you're like, the only way I can get these guys to like me is by getting them to not like me. What is going on?
I mean, I think I could act well, but it would be such a hard time. I wouldn't be able to understand the character well. Do you have other questions, or?
Well, I still want to know why Maleficent cursed the baby. If it was not because
She felt like she was snubbed by the king. Okay, in the Maleficent movie, it gives more details that were never there and were not needed, in my opinion. But in the Maleficent movie, she was betrayed by the king and then takes it out on his daughter. Still not a good thing to do. Like, she's still bad. She takes it out on the daughter. And then she grows up to watch her grow up and be like, oh, really, she wasn't... I shouldn't take out my anger on the daughter because she's nice and tries to repair it. But still, Maleficent, don't like her. She was better as a villain than she was as a hero. That's my hot take opinion.
All right.
It's kind of a lukewarm shake because I don't know that it's really controversial.
People really like the Maleficent movie.
Yeah, but people
Cool.
also really like bad guys. Do they
Yeah.
think that she is a hero?
All right. Is Venom a bad guy or an anti-hero?
That goes back into which run of Venom.
Yes.
There's
He
some-
started out as a villain.
yeah,
And
like exclusively so.
Lauren would like to know chocolate or vanilla.
chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. No.
The issue is chocolate without vanilla is. I mean, vanilla makes it better.
That's like saying good versus evil. Without evil, like, how do you know what good is?
Really dualist? So we want to go into
So-
dualism as a philosophy right now? Okay. let's get after
We'll save
it.
it for Thursday.
A little
This is a deep
theology
dive.
here for you.
Like, as a flavor, people get bored with vanilla, but that's because it is so foundational to so many tastes we love.
I will give it its due diligence. Vanilla is a useful flavor, but I prefer chocolate.
All right, well,
Hands down.
here, let's just figure out, does chocolate make it better? Pepsi, Would a chocolate Pepsi or a vanilla Pepsi taste better?
I'm not a huge fan of Pepsi.
Well,
so
vanilla
I'm
Pepsi
not drink either.
is much better.
An option.
Yeah.
Have you had a chocolate Pepsi?
I have had chocolate and Pepsi at the same time, probably. I'm not remembering a specific incident, but over the course of my life, probably.
I don't think we can really say because we don't have them here to test.
Do you know why we don't?
Because it's not made.
Because it never works out.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to do that. That's why. Okay. Ellie Galloway says chocolate. Allie goes vanilla.
Allie is correct.
No.
She is.
No.
That's a
So
hot
you
take.
heard it here first. Andrew thinks Allie is wrong.
In this instance, yes. Chocolate is the better answer.
Lauren likes them both, but would pick vanilla.
No.
Yeah.
Josh has
No.
won her over. I can only assume.
Think of all of the amazing, like, apart from hot chocolate, like what is, I guess there's
Brownies,
mochas,
chocolate cake,
but in terms of
mochas.
beverages, it's like hot chocolate and mocha.
You
And
can
that's
make a
it.
chocolate London fog, which I do
What?
frequently
Why?
because it's good.
And the vanilla was better.
No,
Yeah.
Josh, you're wrong.
But
I
there's
love
so
you,
many
you're wrong.
there's so many delicious vanilla drinks.
Allie reiterates that vanilla is the best.
She continues to be correct.
Agree to disagree on this.
No, we disagree to disagree.
We're
Because vanilla's the
agreeing.
best.
We're agreeing to disagree. That we are disagreeing. Are
Yes.
you agreeing that we're disagreeing?
I am agreeing that
Yes.
we're disagreeing.
We'll leave it there
Okay.
because none of us, no one is going to win each other over.
That's fair.
I'm a little too stubborn in this instance of chocolate being the best.
Oh,
Especially dark chocolate. Like, the darker the chocolate, the better. Oh,
Disagree
so good. Like that 80% cocoa. Like,
It's just
oh,
bitter.
So
Like,
good.
why would I want a bitter?
Oh,
All
I
right.
love it.
Allie goes. Ellie goes chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk is a chocolate beverage.
Yes,
I didn't
Ellie. Good job.
Correct.
Thank you so
Allie
much.
goes Coke and Pepsi taste borderline the same, and Coke made one with vanilla syrup. Not chocolate.
Yeah.
I like it. Thanks, Josh, says Allie.
I'm here for you. Vanilla is best.
Again,
I am sorry that
Agree to
Andrew has
disagree.
taken your opinion and just disregarded it as wrong.
I have heard
I
your
want to let you
opinion.
know that you are heard here and you're accepted here, and that it's okay to like vanilla.
It is. It's. I'm not saying it's wrong to
Andrew,
like
Andrew,
vanilla.
we've had enough.
I'm
We've
not
had enough.
saying that.
We're moving on.
I'm just saying chocolate
Moving
is
on.
better.
So,
All right.
Josh.
What? Here's one that nobody cares about. What is the best paper and pen role playing system?
I've only played one, and that's D&D 5e.
it kind of depends on what you're looking for. There's a lot of different things. Like I played one that was a bit more horror setting, where you would go progressively mad
Interesting.
if you like continue to fail.
Yeah.
And I played one where
That's
like
Call
I'm in
of Cthulhu.
it was actually Don't Rest Your Head.
Okay.
But yeah, that one you go insane. Your sanity is a health bar in Call of Cthulhu. Then there's
Ooh. Okay.
You got a question?
Yep.
I'm currently in a game that's set in the Pokemon world as well
I love
with
that one.
some other friends.
You sent me the rules for that, didn't you, one time?
Yeah, I think I shared it.
I haven't looked at them.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fair.
So we'll move on since if somebody else asks another question.
Yeah.
I can only assume they don't really care. Clayton asks, would you rather be in a research lab at the bottom of the ocean for the rest of your life, or in a research lab on the moon for the rest of your life? Both without human contact.
Without human contact?
Is this not the same question?
No, it's bottom
It's
of the
not.
ocean or the
It's
moon.
where would you want to be? Would you like the idea that at any
But
moment the
no
building can
human
collapse and
contact.
everything comes down on top of you, or would you like the idea that at any given moment the thing could explode out and you would die? Either way, like you're under stress of being like, hey, at any given moment I could mess one small detail up and die because of it.
So for me, there's two considerations I have.
Okay.
One is the speed of bandwidth, which is going to be
Probably a lot better under the water.
Yeah, because we have cables connecting the
Yeah.
internet from Europe to America, for example.
True. That's
And
a good
so-
point. That's a good point.
Whereas sending out any sort of data signal to the moon means that any sort of online gaming is just out, as you'll
Yeah.
have a leg or a ping of like 9 million.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
I
with
mean,
that.
there would have to be some sort of laser system set up so that it could, essentially like fiber optics, but
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we
but
got.
I would like the environment of looking at outer space.
That
a
would be
lot
cool.
more.
The stars would be so beautiful.
Yeah.
Got 3 separate ocean votes.
Mm.
Allie, Lauren, Ellie all went ocean.
Okay.
Okay, so Ellie said I prefer fish to people, which wasn't the question at all, because there's no.
Well, she
human
was saying
contact
that like,
with
hey,
her.
like there's no human contact, so she prefers fish to people. So like it doesn't bother her that there's no human contact on the ocean because she'd have fish, right?
Would she? Maybe her research lab is socializing fish. Who knows?
Maybe. We'll see. We won't see.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
I'm not burying her in the ocean, so it would have to be up to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably go with. I don't know. Probably the ocean because of the access to internet. You can be able to talk to people that way. Although,
It depends on what
Yeah.
the constraints of human contact are.
Yeah.
But you would at least be able to.
like, if
stream
you can't talk to
Netflix.
people, then I'd probably go with the moon. But like, if you could talk to people over the internet, ocean. That's my vote.
There's another question, which is this was for the rest of our lives. Is that because we're going to die?
Oh,
Because
because I would mess something up on those delicate
Right.
instruments easily. I would be like, oh, you need to enter in, 1.0003 for like this variable. I'd be like, okay, 1.03, probably. I'd miss a zero, something like that. And I'd be like, oh, I'm dead.
you missed 2 zeros there.
Oops.
Yeah.
See, I missed a zero here,
Oh,
so.
already dead.
So, in that case, would I rather die at the bottom of the ocean or on the moon?
Die by suffocation or die by also
Drowning, or I mean, both.
drowning or
There would be a degree of the pressure in the ocean that would
Crush.
potentially,
But I feel like it wouldn't all at once crush you. It'd be like, hey, the water's flooding into your chamber and not pressurizing you yet, but you died because you were drowning.
I
And
guess
then it would collapse.
I guess it depends on
Yeah.
perhaps what happens. Maybe you just lose an air supply and you eventually breathe up all the oxygen, in which case
That'd be
that would be,
the preferable way to go.
I mean,
Be peaceful a little bit. This is kind of morbid.
but I could be the first one to die on the moon.
You could be. So, I guess you're
Something to
going
shoot for.
You'd be in the history books then.
Yeah. As what was that guy even doing there?
As he collapsed the first moon base.
Yeah. He opened his window in the middle of the night. I don't know what that was about.
You got too warm.
Yeah.
The question is, what are you doing where you are? Is it a chemical lab? Is it any kind of research? Clayton offers that it could be anything. So I guess maybe the follow-up question would be, what?
What type of research?
Yeah.
Marine biology has always interested me. I think that'd be so much fun to do. But researching the stars also sounds fun.
I think it might be a case of like an old Twilight Zone episode where I'm the one being researched and like, how does a human function without human contact?
Not
One
very
of the
well.
funnier things would be if Andrew was on the moon doing marine biology. That to me would be funny.
I wouldn't do it well.
A lot of the moon stuff would probably be taking readings and sending them back to Earth.
Soil samples,
And maybe, but I'm thinking more like,
radiation from the stars.
yeah, I'm thinking more like celestial readings that
Yeah.
we can do outside the atmosphere that the
Yeah.
atmosphere obscures.
Which could be interesting, but I feel it would be a lot of data, not
Yeah.
like hands-on research. Kind
Yeah.
of.
It'd be a bit of monotonous data gathering as opposed to really
Watching
coming to your own
fish.
conclusions.
Allie offers puppy research or botany.
Ooh,
If we could bring a dog,
puppy
yeah.
research on the moon.
How do puppies
react to the moon? I am there.
I'm just getting like that image of like a dog in a little spacesuit, like going out and like bouncing, like bounding over the craters. just,
I
like,
throw a ball and the puppy's like spacesuit won't let it get to it. And it's just like pushing it around.
and like the
Yeah.
ball just like goes so far on the moon, and you're like, ah,
Yeah.
Dog's gone.
Well, so that I think that solves it. I am going to the moon to do puppy research.
Yeah.
That is what's happening for me. Because Allie is right again.
She is right a lot of the times.
You have. What's the stance on vanilla again?
Chocolate's better.
Okay. So what would you do at the bottom of the ocean? That was any kind of research not related to
The bottom of the ocean.
needing to be on the bottom of the ocean.
And probably. Oh yeah. Okay. Not.
It's like you don't need to do puppy research on the moon.
I don't know. I'd probably do like some type of biology research still.
Yeah.
Like, I just love like researching the human body and like how intrinsically like the parts work together in our body and how God designed it that way. Like that's always interested me so much. So I think I'd be doing something along that lines of being like,
You
how-
wouldn't be trying to like teach
Right.
dolphins to sing or something.
dolphins don't go to the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
Well, to be clear, bottom of the ocean, there's a lot of ocean. Some of it's shallower than others.
True, but I assumed it was like the crushing
Mariana
depths.
Trench.
Yeah. I'd be looking for the crack that opens the kaiju world from Pacific Rim.
It'd be great if it was the bottom of the ocean, but it was just like 10 feet under. And it was like, you could sort of see a beach in the distance.
You can see people, you just can't interact with them.
You have
It's
like
so
a little
sad.
periscope. That'd be so creepy.
Mommy, what's that thing over there? That's just the old hermit who never comes out of his little boat dinghy thing that's submerged.
You get the Coast Guard checking on you every year. Or
It's
so.
not an actual sanctioned research. It's just this crazy Andrew just living in this little bubble.
I'm trying to understand the human body.
Don't go near him. Don't go near him.
Yeah.
All right. This is our last one, and we're gonna shut her down for the afternoon/evening. I'm trying to understand this question here. Would you rather have to lose 100 or 500 lives to save 1 million, or have to live with the fact that you couldn't make a decision?
Oh, it's like that
Yeah.
the railroad scenario. Like, would you willingly pull a lever to kill the lesser number to save the greater number, or would you live with the idea that you couldn't decide and you killed the greater number? So would you have the conscience of like deliberately pulling the lever, or would you live with the fact that you did nothing and let people die? Either way, it's awful.
Yeah.
Either way,
So-
I don't think I could live well with myself that way.
Would you? Well, that's not the question.
I know,
The question
I know.
is, which one would you do? Which one would you rather do?
I mean, logically, I'd want to say I'd be able to pull the lever, but I don't think in that moment, I don't think I could make a decision. I think I'd be too paralyzed by the fact of what's going on. But I would, away from the scenario, I think I'd want to pull the lever to save as many people as I can. But it's an awful option either way. What are you about, you Josh?
I think that I would pull the lever. There's some choices where there's not a good answer,
Mm-hmm.
and the failing to do the right thing is a wrong choice in itself.
Yeah.
And And so the question is it the right thing to save 999,500 lives?
Yeah.
And I feel like without knowing any other information, the best choice I could make would be to pull that lever,
Yeah.
even though I would be unhappy about it.
Yeah.
Oh, they did a social experiment on this in real life.
We'll do this experiment at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh God.
That's what we're researching.
All right. Well, we're gonna be done here.
Cool. So if you have any thoughts for future Thursdays, topics,
Tuesdays.
yes, or Thursdays.
Either one.
Yeah, Tuesdays fun, silly. Thursdays serious.
Yeah.
Anything you want to hear from us, let us know.
Thanks for hanging out with us for this time.
Yep.
Don't forget, on Thursday, 3:30, we got a deep dive coming up. You guys don't want to miss that. We have Mike and Pastor Doug Schillinger. They're going to be talking. It's going to be a really awesome time, so I hope you guys can join us for that. Anything else you want to add, Josh?
Sundays, always feel free to join us. We do a youth group live, and then we do small group via Zoom.
Before you leave, click that like button, ring the notification bell, subscribe,
get out.
share with your friends.
Get out of here. And always, I would say, don't feel like you can't be the one to reach out.
Yeah.
So, like, if you want to talk to any of us, talk to your small group leader, talk to a friend you haven't talked to in a while, always feel like you can be the one to reach out. I know sometimes it can get intimidating, but, I mean, someone has to make the first move.
Yep.
And sometimes
It's got to be you.
Yeah. So go ahead and just reach out to someone and be like,
That's a challenge. Reach out to someone today.